I check my watch again. 8:17 p.m. She's 47 minutes late. The candle in the center of the table has already burned down an inch, and the ice in the water glasses has long since melted. The waiter approaches for the fourth time, his sympathetic smile now edged with impatience. "Sir, would you like to order now, or—" "Just a few more minutes," I say, forcing a smile. "She's a doctor. Emergencies happen." He nods and retreats. I know what he's thinking. I'm the sad cliché, the guy who got stood up but can't admit it. I check my phone again. The text from Maya, sent 32 minutes ago, glows on the screen. "Adrien's having a really bad night. Might be suicidal. Need to go to him. So sorry about dinner. Rain check? Love you." My thumb hovers over the reply button. But what would I even say? This isn't just any dinner. It's our 3-year anniversary. The night I was going to propose. I pat my jacket pocket, feeling the small velvet box. The 2-carat diamond inside cost me 4 months' salary. Maya doesn't care about expensive things, but I wanted this to be perfect. I had it all planned. Dinner at Osteria Romano, where we had our first date, followed by a walk through Henderson Park where a friend would be waiting to take photos of the moment I got down on one knee. Instead, I'm sitting alone, being pitied by waiters and nearby couples. I flag down the waiter. "I'll order now, and bring the bottle of Dom Perignon I reserved." "Both meals, sir?" "Yes," I say, my jaw tight. "Both meals." I order Maya's favorite, the mushroom risotto. For myself, the osso buco. The champagne arrives, and the waiter pops it open with the flourish reserved for celebrations. I don't tell him there's nothing to celebrate. I fill both glasses. One sits untouched across from me as I drain mine in 3 long swallows. I try calling Maya. No answer. I text her. "Everything okay?" Nothing. By the time the food arrives, I've finished half the champagne alone. The risotto sits across from me, getting cold. Just like my feelings. This isn't the first time Adrien has had an emergency that required Maya's immediate attention. It's not even the 5th time, but it is the first time she's missed something this important. I cut into my osso buco, the meat falling off the bone, but I can barely taste it. All I can think about is Maya rushing to Adrien's side, again, always dropping everything for him, for his countless emergencies and crises. Might be suicidal. The words echo in my head. It's the perfect emergency, isn't it? How could anyone compete with that? How could I be angry at Maya for rushing to prevent a suicide? But I am angry. I'm furious. 3 years. 3 years of building a life together, of talking about the future, of meeting each other's families and planning holidays together. 3 years culminating in this night. This reservation made 2 months in advance. This ring burning a hole in my pocket. All canceled for him. Again. I pay the bill, $347, including the champagne, and leave the restaurant with both meals mostly uneaten. The host gives me the same look the waiter did, pity mixed with embarrassment. I can't get out of there fast enough. Outside, the spring air is cool against my face. I loosen my tie, feeling like I can finally breathe again. I take out the ring box and open it. The diamond catches the streetlight, sparkling with promises I'm no longer sure I want to make. I try calling Maya again. Still no answer. The truth settles over me like a shroud. I'm not her priority. I've never been her priority. It's always been Adrien. Her best friend, her confidant, the guy she swears is like a brother to her. I snap the ring box shut and shove it back in my pocket. Something cold and certain solidifies in my chest. We're done. I throw my keys on the kitchen counter and yank off my tie. The apartment is quiet. Maya's not here. Of course she's not. She's with him. I grab a garbage bag from under the sink and head to the bedroom closet. I start pulling out her clothes, the sundresses she wears in summer, the sweaters I've given her for Christmas, the scrubs she sometimes brings home from the hospital. I stuff them all into the bag, not bothering to fold anything. This isn't a spontaneous decision. It's been building for months. The first time Maya canceled plans for Adrien was 6 months ago. We had tickets to a concert, the National, my favorite band. I'd been looking forward to it for weeks. 2 hours before we were supposed to leave, Maya got a call. "It's Adrien," she said, her face immediately clouding with concern. "His wife just told him she wants a divorce. He's a wreck." "Can't she talk to him?" I asked. "They're still living together, right?" "That's exactly why he can't be there right now. He needs somewhere to go." "So he's coming here?" My heart sank. "No, I'm going to go to him," Maya said, already grabbing her jacket. "He shouldn't be alone right now." "But the concert—" "You can still go," she said. "Take Chelsea from work. She likes the National." I didn't take Chelsea. I didn't go at all. I sat at home, resentment building as I pictured Maya comforting Adrien, probably with his head on her shoulder as he cried about his wife. After that, it became a pattern. Adrien's car broke down. Maya canceled our dinner plans to pick him up. Adrien got food poisoning. Maya spent the night at his apartment making sure he stayed hydrated. Adrien's divorce papers came through. Maya skipped the weekend trip we had planned to help him process. Each time I tried to be understanding. Each time I swallowed my disappointment and told myself that Maya was just being a good friend. Each time I believed her when she said, "There's nothing between me and Adrien. He's like family." But families have boundaries. And Maya and Adrien didn't seem to have any. I moved from the closet to the bathroom, throwing her toiletries into a separate bag. The jasmine-scented shampoo she uses. The expensive face creams that line the counter. The makeup she applies with such precision. As I pack, memories flood back. The conversation we had just last month when I finally worked up the courage to say something. "I feel like Adrien always comes first," I told her. We were having breakfast. Maya looked up from her coffee, surprised. "That's not true," she said. "You're my priority, Ethan." "It doesn't feel that way when you drop our plans every time he calls. He's going through a really tough time." "He's been going through a tough time for 6 months," I said. "At what point does he start handling things on his own?" "It's not that simple," Maya said. "Adrien doesn't have many people in his life. His parents are both gone, and most of his friends were really his wife's friends." "So that makes you responsible for him?" "No, but it makes me want to be there for him. Wouldn't you want me to be there for you if you were struggling?" "I would," I admitted, "but I would also respect your other commitments." Maya reached across the table and took my hand. "I love you. Adrien is just a friend who needs support right now." I believed her, or I wanted to believe her. But now, as I gather a stack of medical journals from her nightstand, I wonder if I've been a fool. I find a piece of paper and a pen. I sit at the kitchen table and try to compose a letter explaining why I'm ending our relationship. The words come haltingly at first, then in a rush. "Maya, I can't do this anymore. I can't be with someone who consistently puts someone else before me, before us. Tonight was our anniversary. I had plans, important plans. But once again, Adrien came first. I've tried to be understanding. I've tried to be patient. But there's a pattern here that I can't ignore any longer. Whether you realize it or not, Adrien is your priority. Not me. Not our relationship. Maybe there's nothing romantic between you, as you've always claimed. But it doesn't really matter. The effect is the same. I'm left waiting, rearranging my life, swallowing my disappointment. I've packed your things. I'll be out tomorrow from 10 to 2 so you can pick them up without having to see me. Please leave your key. I'm sorry it's ending this way, but I'm not sorry it's ending. I deserve to be someone's first choice. Ethan. I read it over, fold it, and prop it against the fruit bowl where she'll see it. Then I turn off my phone, take a shower, and go to bed. Maya's bags sit by the door, a monument to 3 years ending not with a proposal, but with a whimper. Pounding on the door jolts me awake. For a moment, I'm disoriented, the events of last night feeling like a bad dream. But then I see Maya's packed bags by the bedroom door, and reality crashes back. The pounding continues, now accompanied by Maya's voice. "Ethan, open the door, please!" I check the time. 7:13 a.m. Earlier than I expected her. I get up, pull on sweatpants and a t-shirt, and walk to the door. I take a deep breath before opening it. Maya stands there, still in yesterday's clothes, her face tear-streaked and pale. Her dark hair is pulled back in a messy ponytail, wisps escaping around her face. She looks like she hasn't slept. "What is this?" she demands, holding up my letter. "What have you done?" I step aside to let her in. I think the letter is pretty clear. She walks in, sees her bags, and turns to me with disbelief. "You're breaking up with me? Over one missed dinner?" "It wasn't just one missed dinner," I say, my voice even. "It was our anniversary, and it's not just about last night. It's about the last 6 months of being your second priority." "That's not fair," she says. "Adrien tried to kill himself last night." Something cold slips into my stomach, but I push it away. "Convenient timing." "What?" Her face pales even further. I said, convenient timing. Every time we have something important, Adrien has some crisis that only you can solve. "You think he attempted suicide to ruin our anniversary?" Her voice rises in disbelief. "I think he demands your attention whenever he wants it, and you give it to him without hesitation." "He took an entire bottle of sleeping pills," Maya shouts. "I found him unconscious on his bathroom floor. We had to pump his stomach. He's in the psychiatric ward right now." I cross my arms. "And I'm supposed to just accept that? Again? For the 100th time?" "Yes." Tears stream down her face now. Because that's what people do when they love each other. They understand that sometimes life is complicated and messy and doesn't go according to plan. There's a difference between complicated and being in love with someone else, I say. Maya's hand flies up, and for a second I think she's going to slap me. But she just presses it against her mouth, as if physically holding back words. "I have never given you any reason to think I have feelings for Adrien," she says finally, her voice low and shaking. "He's my friend. He needed me." And I didn't. I step closer to her. "It was our anniversary, Maya. I needed you, too." "An anniversary can be rescheduled. Adrien could have died." "And what about the concert, and the weekend trip, and the dinner with my boss? Were those all life or death situations, too?" "No, but Adrien comes first," I finish for her. "Always." Maya stares at me, and I see the moment something shifts in her eyes. A hardness replaces the hurt, a resolve settling over her features. "You packed my things," she says quietly, without talking to me, without giving me a chance to explain. "You just decided our relationship was over." "What's there to explain? The pattern is clear." She walks to her bags and picks them up. "Yes, it is, but not the pattern you think." She looks at me, and her voice is steady now. "The pattern is you assuming the worst about me, about my intentions, about my feelings." I don't respond. "I love you, Ethan. I have never loved anyone the way I love you." She walks to the door. "But you're right about one thing. I deserve to be someone's first choice, too. And clearly, I'm not yours. Your pride is—" She puts her key on the side table by the door. "Goodbye, Ethan." The door closes behind her with a soft click that somehow feels more final than if she had slammed it. I stand in the middle of my apartment, our apartment until a few minutes ago, and feel the emptiness expand around me. The certainty I felt last night wavers, but I push the doubt away. I did the right thing. I had to protect myself. I had to draw a line. But as I walk into the kitchen and see her coffee mug in the sink, a small crack running down one side, I wonder if the line I drew was actually a circle, trapping me in my own assumptions. I shake my head. No! I made the right choice. I'm not going to second-guess myself. I pick up my phone to unblock her number, then change my mind and block her on social media instead. Clean break. That's what I need. What we both need. You did what? Chelsea's voice rises above the general hum of the office break room. I glance around, but the other architects at Morrison and Klein are absorbed in their own conversations. Keep it down, I mutter. I broke up with Maya. Chelsea stares at me, her cropped blonde hair swinging as she shakes her head. Let me get this straight. You broke up with your girlfriend of 3 years because she went to help her friend who tried to commit suicide? It wasn't just about that, I say defensively. It was a pattern. A pattern of her being a good person? I feel a flash of irritation. A pattern of me always coming second to Adrien. Chelsea takes a sip of her coffee, studying me over the rim of her mug. Did you ever actually talk to her about how you were feeling before you packed up all her stuff? Yes, I insist. Last month I told her I felt like Adrien always came first. And? And she said I was her priority, but her actions said something different. Chelsea sighs. Ethan, I've met Maya. She's crazy about you. And from what you've told me, this friend of hers is going through one of the worst periods of his life. For 6 months? Depression and divorce don't operate on convenient timelines. I don't respond. I've been having this argument with myself for the past week. In the middle of drafting building plans or during my commute, Maya's words echo in my head. You assuming the worst about me. Have you talked to her since? Chelsea asks. No. Don't you think you should? I absently rearrange the sugar packets in their container. What's there to say? She made her choice. I made mine. That's mature, Chelsea says sarcastically. She leans forward. Look, it sounds like you acted rashly. You were hurt and jealous, and instead of talking it through, you went nuclear. I wasn't jealous, I protest automatically. Chelsea gives me a look. Really? You weren't at all threatened by her relationship with this guy? I think about the countless times Maya mentioned Adrien in conversation, the inside jokes they shared, the way she lit up when he called, the ease between them that came from years of friendship. Maybe a little, I admit, but that doesn't mean I was wrong about the situation. Maybe not, Chelsea concedes, but it does mean you might not have been seeing things clearly. Back at my desk, I can't focus on the commercial complex plans I'm supposed to be finalizing. Chelsea's words keep intruding. I open Instagram on my computer and log into an old account I rarely use. Maya hasn't blocked this one. I scroll through her recent posts. There's nothing new since before our breakup. No pictures of her and Adrien together. No cryptic quotes about dodging bullets or finding better men. I check Adrien's profile next. His last post was 3 days ago, a blurry photo of a hallway that looks like it could be from a hospital, with the caption, "Not how I planned to spend the week, but grateful for second chances." Maya is tagged. My stomach clenches, so it's true, he really did try to kill himself. I close the browser, a wave of shame washing over me. But then I think about sitting alone in that restaurant, the ring in my pocket, the untouched food, and the shame recedes. It doesn't matter if Adrien really was in crisis. The point is, Maya will always choose him, and I'll always be waiting for the next emergency, the next canceled plan, the next disappointment. After work, I find myself driving past St. Mary's Hospital where Maya works. I slow down, half hoping to catch a glimpse of her in her blue scrubs, walking to her car. I could stop, walk in, ask to talk to her. But what would I say? That I'm sorry for doubting her? I'm not sure I am. That I want her back? I'm not sure I do. So I drive past, accelerating as I round the corner, putting physical distance between us as my internal distance solidifies. I made my choice. I have to live with it. I'm halfway through a frozen pizza when someone knocks on my door. It's been 2 weeks since the breakup, and I've settled into a routine of work, takeout, and mindless TV. I check the peephole and groan. It's my brother, Liam. "I know you're in there," he calls through the door. "Your car's outside." I open the door. "What do you want?" Liam pushes past me into the apartment. He's taller than me, broader in the shoulders, with the same dark hair but gray eyes instead of my brown ones. "Nice to see you too," he says, looking around the apartment. His eyes land on the pizza. "Dinner of champions, I see. Did you come here just to criticize my eating habits?" Liam turns to face me. "No, I came to tell you that you're an idiot." I close the door harder than necessary. "Great, message received. You can go now." "Sit down, Ethan." There's a seriousness in his voice I rarely hear. I sit. Liam takes the chair opposite me. I know what happened with Maya. "How?" "Sarah works at St. Mary's, remember? She's friends with Maya. Sarah is Liam's wife, a pediatric nurse." "So Maya's been talking about me." I feel a perverse satisfaction at this, like at least I'm still on her mind. Not to Sarah directly, no, but Sarah overheard her talking to another doctor. Liam leans forward. "Do you know why Adrien tried to kill himself?" I shrug. "Depression? Divorce? I don't know. He has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He was diagnosed 3 months ago." The words hit me like a physical blow. "What?" "Terminal cancer, Ethan. The doctors gave him 6 months to a year." Liam's voice is steady, but his eyes are hard. "He tried to kill himself because he didn't want to put anyone through watching him die slowly. I feel like I can't breathe." Maya never told me. Adrien asked her not to tell anyone, not even his ex-wife. "But why?" "Because he didn't want pity," Liam says. "He didn't want his last months to be defined by his illness." I stand up and walk to the window, trying to process this information. 3 months. That means Adrien was already sick when he and his wife separated, when Maya started canceling plans to be with him. "Maya's been helping him deal with his diagnosis," Liam continues. "Treatment options, palliative care, end-of-life decisions, all while keeping his secret because that's what he asked her to do." I turn back to Liam. "She still should have told me." "Maybe," he concedes. "But she was respecting her friend's wishes while also trying to be there for him in what might be the last months of his life." I sink back into my chair. "How do you know all this?" "Sarah was there when they brought Adrien in after his suicide attempt. She heard the doctors talking." Liam runs a hand through his hair. "Look, I'm not saying you don't have a right to be upset about the canceled plans, but before you throw away your relationship, you should know what you're really angry about." "I'm angry that Maya consistently put Adrien before me," I say, but my voice lacks conviction. "Are you sure, or are you angry that Maya has a close male friend, that she has a part of her life that doesn't revolve around you? That's not fair." "Isn't it?" Liam stands up. "You've always been like this, Ethan, always assuming the worst when things don't go according to your plan." "What's that supposed to mean?" "Remember when Dad couldn't make it to your graduation because his flight was delayed? You were convinced he'd skipped it on purpose, that he didn't care. It took Mom showing you the airline emails to convince you it wasn't some personal slight. I don't respond. I don't want to admit he's right. Maya loves you, Liam says, but you have to decide if you trust her enough to love her back properly. He walks to the door. Think about it, Ethan. Really think about what you're throwing away, and why. After Liam leaves, I sit in the growing darkness of my apartment. The pizza sits forgotten on the table, cold and congealing. Adrien has cancer, terminal cancer, and I accused Maya of… What? Having an affair? Prioritizing a friend over a dinner? Shame washes over me, but it's quickly followed by defensiveness. How was I supposed to know? Maya kept me in the dark. She let me believe Adrien was just being needy, that his emergencies were melodrama. But even as I think it, I know it's not fair. Maya was keeping a confidence. She was being the kind of loyal friend to Adrien that I should have been glad to have in my life. Instead, I pushed her away, packed her things, ended 3 years over one canceled dinner. I take out my phone and find Maya's number. My thumb hovers over the call button. What would I even say? I put the phone down. I need more time to think. So, Ethan, what brings you here today? Dr. Raymond sits across from me, her notepad balanced on her knee. She's in her mid-40s, with silver-streaked black hair and glasses that make her dark eyes look owlish. I shift in the too-soft armchair. My brother thinks I need therapy. Her smile is patient. And what do you think? I shrug. I think I made a decision that made sense with the information I had at the time. Tell me about that decision. I explain the situation with Maya and Adrien, leaving out the part about Adrien's cancer. I'm not ready to discuss that yet. I just describe the pattern of canceled plans, the feeling of always coming second, the final straw of the anniversary dinner. Dr. Raymond listens without interrupting. When I finish, she says, "That must have been very painful for you." It was, I say, relieved at her understanding. Can I ask what you were afraid of? The question catches me off guard. Afraid? I wasn't afraid, I was angry. Anger is often a secondary emotion, she says. It's usually covering something else. Hurt, shame, fear. I consider this. I guess I was afraid that Maya didn't really love me, that she was settling for me while actually being in love with Adrien. Have you always found it difficult to trust that people care about you? I start to deny it, then stop. Maybe. Tell me about your parents. What do my parents have to do with this? Humor me, she says with a small smile. I sigh. My dad traveled a lot for work when I was growing up. He was gone more than he was home. My mom was a teacher, so she was around, but she was always busy with grading or lesson plans. Did you feel neglected? No, I say automatically. Then, maybe a little. It's not like they were bad parents. They provided for us, made sure we had what we needed, but they weren't very present. They missed a lot of my school events, sports games, Liam, my brother. He got more of their attention because he was more demanding. I was the easy child. The one who didn't make waves, Dr. Raymond suggests. Yeah, I guess. So you learned that being easy, not asking for attention, not demanding your needs be met, was the way to be loved? I hadn't thought about it that way, but it resonates. Maybe. And now, as an adult, how do you feel when your needs aren't met? When someone chooses something else over spending time with you? The connection clicks into place. Like I'm not important, like I don't matter enough. Dr. Raymond nods. In your relationship with Maya, did you clearly communicate what you needed from her? I told her I felt like Adrien always came first. That's expressing a feeling. Did you tell her specifically what you needed to change? I think back to our conversations. Had I ever actually asked Maya to set boundaries with Adrien? To make concrete changes in how she responded to his calls? No, I admit. I guess I wanted her to figure it out on her own. That's a common expectation, but it's not really fair. People aren't mind readers, even people who love us deeply. We talk more about my family, about patterns in my previous relationships. As the session winds down, Dr. Raymond asks, "Do you think you might have been quick to assume the worst about Maya's relationship with Adrien because it was easier than being vulnerable about your fear of abandonment?" The question lands like a punch to the gut. I don't have a fear of abandonment. Dr. Raymond just looks at me. Okay, maybe I do, I concede. But that doesn't mean I was wrong about the situation. No, it doesn't, she agrees. But it might mean you reacted to the situation in a way that fulfilled your own worst fears. You were afraid Maya would leave you for Adrien, so you left her first. I sit with that uncomfortable thought as I schedule another appointment for the following week. On the drive home, I think about what Dr. Raymond said. Had I been setting Maya up to fail? Creating a no-win situation where any attention she gave Adrien was evidence of her betrayal? And if Adrien is dying, the thought still shocks me. Was I really so insecure that I couldn't handle Maya supporting him through that? For the first time, I let myself fully feel the shame of what I've done. Not just breaking up with Maya, but the way I did it. Packing her things without discussion, the cold note, the refusal to hear her explanation. I acted out of hurt pride, not love. I was so focused on protecting myself from pain that I caused it instead. I wonder if it's too late to fix things. If Maya would even want to hear from me after how I treated her. I wonder if I deserve a second chance. The coffee shop is crowded, but I spot an empty table in the corner and claim it. I check my phone. 2 minutes until my meeting. I'm nervous, which is ridiculous. This isn't a date. This isn't even about Maya, really. The bell above the door jingles, and Adrien walks in. I almost don't recognize him. When I last saw him 6 months ago, he was fit, tan, with a full head of dark hair. The man who walks toward me now is gaunt, pale, with a blue knit cap covering what I assume is a bald head. "Ethan," he says, extending his hand. "Thanks for meeting me." I shake his hand, feeling the bones beneath his skin. "Thanks for reaching out." We order an Americano for me, herbal tea for him, and sit in awkward silence until our drinks arrive. "I'm sorry about your diagnosis," I finally say. "Liam told me." Adrien nods. "I figured." "Is that why you agreed to meet?" "Partly," I admit. "And because I wanted to apologize." Adrien raises an eyebrow. "For what?" "For thinking the worst about your friendship with Maya, for being jealous." He takes a sip of his tea. "You had reason to be concerned. I was taking up a lot of Maya's time." "Because you needed her." "Yes." He looks down at his hands, which are wrapped around his mug. "When I was diagnosed, I couldn't process it. I didn't want anyone to know, not even Caroline, though that contributed to our marriage falling apart." "Why didn't you want people to know?" "Pride, mostly," he says with a wry smile. "I didn't want to be the cancer guy. The one everyone treats differently, speaks too softly, gives those sympathetic looks." He shrugs. "But I also couldn't deal with it alone. Maya found out because she was at the hospital when I got the results. After that, she was the only one I could talk to about it." "She kept your secret," I say. "She did, even when it cost her." Adrien meets my eyes. "I told her to tell you, especially after you two started having problems, but she insisted on respecting my privacy." I feel a pang of guilt. "She's loyal." "To a fault," Adrien agrees. "She's also crazy about you." I look up, surprised. "Did she tell you that?" Adrien laughs. a raspy sound. She didn't have to. Every time we were together, she talked about you. Ethan did this. Ethan said that. She was always checking her phone, afraid she'd miss a call from you. He pulls out his own phone. Here, look at this. He scrolls through his text messages and hands me the phone. It's a conversation with Maya from the night of our anniversary. Adrien. How's dinner? Maya. About to head there. So nervous, excited. I think he's going to propose tonight. Adrien. How do you know? Maya. He's been acting weird all week. Super secretive. And he made a reservation at the restaurant from our first date. Adrien. If he does, you're saying yes, right? Maya. Of course. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with him. The timestamp shows these messages were sent just an hour before she got Adrien's crisis text. I hand back the phone, a lump in my throat. I'm so sorry about that night, Adrien says. I didn't plan to. I just had a really bad day. Test results came back, and the treatment wasn't working. I started thinking about what was ahead, the pain, the indignity, being a burden. I just couldn't face it. I understand, I say, and I'm surprised to find that I mean it. Maya saved my life, Adrien continues, and I nearly ruined hers in the process. I know how much she loves you. I know how excited she was about your future together. It wasn't just that night, I say. There were a lot of canceled plans. Adrien nods. I know. She told me when she was missing things with you, and I felt terrible. But she insisted it was fine. He pauses. The timing of everything was just awful. My diagnosis, my divorce, your relationship hitting the 3-year mark. It was a perfect storm. We sit in silence for a moment, the cafe buzzing around us. Have you talked to her? Adrien finally asks. No, I admit. I'm not sure what to say, or if she'd even want to hear from me. She would, Adrien says confidently. Maya doesn't give up on people easily. As we finish our drinks, Adrien gives me his oncologist's card. I'm starting a new treatment next week. If you want to know more about what's going on, you can call Dr. Mitchell. I've added you to my approved contacts list. Thank you, I say, touched by the gesture. That means a lot. Just don't waste any more time, Adrien says as we stand to leave. None of us know how much we have left. As I watch him walk slowly to his car, his words echo in my head. Time is the one thing we can never get back. Not Adrien, not me, not Maya. I've already wasted too much of it on pride and fear. Maya's phone goes straight to voicemail. I've tried 3 times over 2 days. I send her an email. Maya, I met with Adrien yesterday. He told me everything. About his diagnosis, about how you've been helping him, about that night. I was wrong. So wrong. About everything. I should have trusted you. I should have given you the chance to explain. Instead, I made assumptions and acted out of hurt and insecurity. I know an apology isn't enough to undo what I did, but I want you to know how deeply sorry I am for how I treated you. You deserved better. If you're willing to talk, I'd like to apologize in person, but I understand if you don't want to see me. I hope you're doing well. Ethan. After I hit send, I feel both lighter and more anxious. The ball is in her court now. 3 days pass with no response. I try calling again and get the same result, straight to voicemail. I call Chelsea. Maybe she's just busy, Chelsea suggests. The ER can be crazy. Or maybe she's ignoring me, I say. I wouldn't blame her. Give it time, Chelsea advises. You hurt her pretty badly. I hang up and stare at my phone, willing it to ring. Instead, I get an email notification. It's from the hospital administration, not Maya. Mr. Reeves, this is an automated message to inform you that Dr. Maya Chen is no longer available as your primary physician. She has accepted a temporary position at Northwest Memorial in Seattle. Your care will be transferred to Dr. James Wilson. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact patient services. I read the email 3 times. Maya moved to Seattle? Without even telling me? But why would she tell me? We're not together anymore. I broke up with her, packed her things, told her I didn't want to see her, and now she's gone. I email her again. Maya, I just found out you moved to Seattle. I understand why you needed a fresh start. I hope it's going well for you there. I'm seeing a therapist now, Dr. Raymond. She's helping me understand why I reacted the way I did. It doesn't excuse my behavior, but I'm trying to be better. I miss you, not just as my girlfriend, but as my friend, as the person who knew me better than anyone. Be well, Ethan. No response. I continue seeing Dr. Raymond every week. We talk about my childhood, my parents' emotional distance, my need for control. I think I sabotaged my relationship with Maya, I tell her during our 5th session. I was so afraid she'd leave me for Adrien that I pushed her away first. Dr. Raymond nods. That's a common protective mechanism. If you end the relationship, you control the narrative. It hurts, but it hurts on your terms. But it was a mistake, I say. I misunderstood everything. You made a decision based on the information you had and the emotional patterns you've developed over your lifetime, she corrects. Now you have more information, and you're working on changing those patterns. What if it's too late? It might be, she says frankly. But whether Maya forgives you or not, this work you're doing now will help you in future relationships. It's not what I want to hear, but I know she's right. After another week of no response from Maya, I find myself on the website for the Seattle Cancer Support Center, where Adrien mentioned getting treatment. They're looking for volunteers. On impulse, I sign up for a similar program at our local center. I don't know if it's an attempt at atonement or just a way to understand what Maya and Adrien have been going through. Either way, it feels right. At orientation, I meet people at various stages of cancer treatment and their caregivers. I listen to their stories about diagnosis days, about treatments that failed, about the toll it takes on relationships. I think about Maya carrying all this for Adrien, alone, while I accused her of betraying me. I'm assigned to help with transportation, driving patients to and from appointments when they don't have anyone else to take them. My first passenger is a woman in her 60s, named Ruth. My kids live out of state, she explains as I help her into my car after her chemotherapy session. My husband died last year. Without volunteers like you, I'd be taking the bus. I'm glad I can help, I say, and I mean it. What made you volunteer? She asks. I consider giving a generic answer, but something about Ruth's direct gaze makes me honest. I had a friend with cancer. I didn't understand what he was going through. I want to do better. Ruth nods. That's a good reason. As I continue volunteering, I learn more about the toll serious illness takes, not just on patients, but on their loved ones. I think about Maya, how exhausted she must have been, carrying Adrien's secret, supporting him through treatment, working full-time as a doctor, and trying to maintain our relationship. I should have been her safe place, her support. Instead, I was another source of stress. 3 months after our breakup, I've accepted that Maya might never respond to my emails or calls. I still think of her every day, but I'm trying to focus on becoming someone who deserves a second chance, whether I get one or not. In therapy, in my volunteer work, in my daily life, I'm trying to be less afraid, more trusting, more present. I'm trying to be the kind of person who doesn't assume the worst when plans change. I wonder if Maya would recognize this version of me. I wonder if she'd approve. Are you sure about this? Chelsea asks as we climb the steps to the hotel ballroom. We can still back out. It's for a good cause, I say, adjusting my tie. And I've been volunteering at the center for 2 months now. I want to support them. What I don't say is that I'm hoping Maya might be here. The St. Mary's Hospital Foundation Cancer Benefit is a major fundraising event, and even though Maya is in Seattle, She might have come back for it. It's a slim chance, but it's a chance. The ballroom is decorated in silver and blue, with round tables surrounding a dance floor. A string quartet plays in the corner. Chelsea and I find our assigned table near the back, where other volunteers from the cancer center are already seated. I scan the room, trying not to be obvious. There must be 200 people here. Doctors, donors, patients in remission, family members. And then I see her. Maya stands near the stage, talking to an older doctor I recognize from the hospital. She's wearing a long navy dress, her dark hair swept up in an elegant knot. She's smiling at something the doctor is saying, but even from here, I can see it doesn't reach her eyes. "There she is," Chelsea says, following my gaze. "Are you going to talk to her?" "I don't know," I admit. "Maybe later." Throughout the dinner and the speeches, I keep glancing at Maya's table. She doesn't look in my direction, but she must know I'm here. It's not that big a room. After the formal program ends and people begin mingling, I work up the courage to approach her. She's alone at her table, checking her phone. "Maya." She looks up, and for a moment her face is unguarded. Surprise, then something that might be pain or might be anger flashes across her features before she composes herself. "Ethan," she says, her voice neutral. "I didn't expect to see you here." "I've been volunteering at the center," I explain. "Transportation services." She nods. "That's good. I'm glad." An awkward silence falls between us. "How's Seattle?" I finally ask. "Rainy," she says with a faint smile. "But good. It's a great hospital." "Are you back for long?" "Just the weekend. I fly back Monday." Another silence. "I tried to contact you," I say. "Emails, calls." "I know," she says. "I got them. I needed space." "I understand." She looks at me for a long moment, then says, "Adrien died 2 weeks ago." The news hits me hard, even though I'd known it was coming. "I'm so sorry, Maya." "It was peaceful at the end," she says. "His ex-wife was there. They'd reconciled in a way, not romantically, but as friends." "Were you there too?" She nods. "I was his medical proxy. He didn't want extraordinary measures once it was clear the treatment wasn't working." Her voice is steady, professional, but I can see the grief in her eyes. "How are you doing?" I ask. She shrugs. "Some days are better than others. Work helps." I want to reach for her hand, but I don't. "I really am sorry, Maya. Not just about Adrien, but about everything. I was wrong." "Yes, you were," she agrees, but there's no heat in her voice. "But I understand why you felt the way you did. I wasn't as transparent as I could have been, even with Adrien's request for privacy." "You were respecting his wishes." "I was," she says, "but I was also avoiding difficult conversations with you. It was easier to just say, 'Adrien needs me,' than to explain the whole complicated situation." I nod, grateful for her honesty, for the acknowledgement that we both could have handled things differently. "I've been in therapy," I tell her, "working on my trust issues." "That's good, Ethan. I'm glad." A colleague calls Maya's name from across the room, waving her over. "I should go," she says, standing. It was good to see you." "You too," I say. "Take care, Maya." She walks away, and I watch her go, feeling both a deep sadness and a strange sense of peace. She's alive, she's well, and even if we're not together, we've at least had this moment of reconciliation. As I turn to find Chelsea, I realize that what I feel for Maya now isn't just the desperate, possessive love that drove me to end things so abruptly. It's something deeper, more genuine, a desire for her happiness, whether or not I'm part of it. It's the kind of love I should have offered her all along. 6 months after the gala, I'm sitting in my usual corner of Cafe Luna, working on plans for a sustainable housing project. This place has become my Saturday morning ritual: coffee, sketching, people watching. I'm so absorbed in my work that I don't notice someone approaching until a shadow falls across my table. Is this seat taken? I look up to see Maya standing there, a takeout cup in hand. She's wearing jeans and a green sweater, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looks rested, relaxed. "It's all yours," I say, moving my papers to make room. "I didn't know you were back in town." "I moved back last week," she says, sitting down across from me. "I took a position at the new children's hospital." "Congratulations," I say, and I mean it. "That's a great opportunity." She smiles, a real smile this time, reaching her eyes. "It is. I loved Seattle, but it never quite felt like home." We sit in silence for a moment, but it's not the tense, awkward silence from the gala. It's more comfortable, like we've reached some kind of truce. "How have you been?" she asks. "Good," I say. "Busy with work? The firm made me lead architect on the Riverside development." "The eco-friendly apartment complex? I read about that in the paper. It looks amazing, Ethan." "Thanks." I hesitate, then add, "I'm still volunteering at the cancer center, too. They're starting a program to design more home-like spaces for long-term patients. I'm helping with that." Maya's expression softens. Adrien would have liked that. He hated the sterility of hospitals. "I know," I say. "He told me." She looks surprised. "You two talked?" "We met for coffee a few times after—" I trail off, not wanting to bring up the breakup directly. "He was a good guy. I wish I'd gotten to know him better." "He said the same about you," Maya says. She takes a sip of her coffee, then sets it down deliberately, as if making a decision. "Ethan, I never got a chance to properly respond to your emails. You don't have to—" "I want to," she says firmly. "You apologized, and you deserved a response. I was hurting, and then I was busy, and then it seemed like too much time had passed." She takes a breath. "But I want you to know that I forgive you, and I'm sorry, too, for not being more open with you about what was going on." "You were in an impossible situation," I say, trying to be loyal to everyone. "Maybe," she concedes, "but I could have handled it better. We both could have." I nod, feeling a weight I didn't even realize I was still carrying lift from my shoulders. "Thank you for saying that." She smiles again, and it reminds me of how we used to be, easy, comfortable, connected. "I should let you get back to your work," she says, gesturing at my scattered papers. "Actually, I was about finished," I say. Would you like to get another coffee? Catch up properly?" Maya considers this for a moment, then nods. "I'd like that." As we wait in line at the counter, I realize I no longer feel the desperate need to win Maya back, to return to what we were. That relationship, with all its insecurities and miscommunications, is over. But something new might be possible. Something built on a better understanding of ourselves and each other. "So," Maya says as we sit back down with fresh drinks, "tell me about this new project." And I do. We talk about work, about her time in Seattle, about mutual friends. We don't talk about getting back together or rehash the past. We just talk, like two people getting to know each other again. When it's time to leave, we walk out together. The spring air is warm, flowers blooming in planters along the sidewalk. "It was really good to see you, Ethan," Maya says. "You too," I reply. "Maybe we could do this again sometime." She smiles. "I'd like that." As I watch her walk to her car, I think about the ring I returned to the jeweler months ago. I don't regret returning it. That future, the one I had planned so meticulously, is gone. But in its place is the possibility of something else, something unplanned, uncertain, but perhaps more genuine. I don't know if Maya and I will find our way back to each other. I don't know if we should. But I do know that whatever happens next won't be built on jealousy or insecurity or fear. It will be built on choice, on seeing each other clearly, and on the understanding that real love isn't about possession or control. Sometimes you have to cancel what you thought was your future to discover what it could actually be.